Hi, welcome Rob Rathke to a very brief, a brief video. Rob's a really good friend of mine, and we always have discussions about stuff. So here's the discussion we're gonna have today: is really this trade show season is coming up, and specifically, we're gonna talk about the Canadian Health Food Association trade show, which is coming up in a couple of weeks, and how to maximize the return on investment from the exhibitor's perspective. And Rob's written articles. He's really an outstanding expert on this, and in my personal interaction with him. So, Rob, I'm going to fire right at you. How does an exhibitor really get the best bang for their buck when it comes to, and we can use the CHFA trade show as an example?
Sure. So first off, thanks for having me. Always great to chat with you, and I'm looking forward
Yep.
to seeing you again in person at the show. So great question. So really, it's about preparation, and I would say there's three phases that an exhibitor needs to look at. The pre-show, what are they doing in advance of the show to prepare for the show? What are they doing at the show? And then what are they going to do post-show to wrap up their investment in the participating in the show itself. So pre-show, it's not just about planning your booth space and making sure everybody on your team is in uniform. Really, to get the most out of your investment, you're going to want to think about how are you going to try and reach your audience in advance of the show and give them a reason to actually stop by. Don't leave things to chance, right? You're gonna be on a floor with lots of exhibitors. There's gonna be lots of distractions, and the target audience you're trying to reach, the category managers, the retailers, they've got a limited amount of time and they've got a limited amount of attention. So, what can you do in advance of the show to get them engaged and make a point of putting in their notes to visit you
Any
at your
any one suggestion?
Well, absolutely. So I would say if you've got their direct contact, I would definitely be sending them an email. If you don't have their direct contact, I would be reaching out to them via LinkedIn to try and connect. If you are connected with them, I would definitely tag them in a post, indicating your intention to exhibit at the show. LinkedIn's a great opportunity to engage the trade, engage specific individuals. You can send them an email if you don't have their email. And but don't just say I'm going to be at the show and here's my booth number. Really explain why it's in their interest to come see you at your booth. Like, what do you have new to share? So that's in advance of the show, and then at the show, make sure you're prepared for the visit. Make sure you've got a script that addresses what the audience is actually looking for. Understand your audience. A trade show like CHFA, you're talking to retail category managers, buyers. You're not at the farmer's market anymore. So if you pitch your product as though you're pitching to a consumer, you're not going to generate the appropriate response. You've got to understand that the people that you're pitching to are making business decisions. It might not be a great idea to lead with your flavor profiles. Lead with the trend that justifies your flavor profile, because they're interested in how is this product going to make them money, right? They're all being evaluated on how profitable their sections are, their departments are. They're probably measured in profitability, if not by the linear foot, perhaps by the cubic inch. There's only so much shelf space that they have to put products on, and they're going to be looking for the best way to optimize the performance of their sections within the store. So understand the audiences and what they're looking for, and be prepared to help them solve their problem. Right at the end of the day, if you can help them solve a problem that they have in their store with your product, you're invariably going to achieve your own objectives.
And the
And
third
then
one is
lastly,
the
third one is
post.
post-show.
Yeah.
You're collecting business cards, perhaps you're scanning badges, and by virtue of that, you should be following up. And I would say you're going to want to follow up within, 48 to 72 hours after that show, because everybody moves on, right? The business moves on, their business moves on, people get busy. They might already be preparing for another event, another show. They've got their own workload. So don't leave it too long for the follow-up. Send an email.
I just want to ask, what is an effective follow-up? Is it just as simple as an email? Is it that simple?
Well, it's going to depend on what your interaction was with that individual. If you randomly, got a card, if you didn't have a meaningful conversation, you're going to have to gauge your response accordingly. But certainly, if you had a good chat at your booth, they gave you their card, they expressed interest, I would be emailing them, and if they don't respond to the email, I would be following up with a phone call, with the goal of getting a follow-up meeting, right? And it all depends too on whether or not you're represented by a broker, or if you're not represented by a broker, if you're doing this on your own. How do you engage the resources on your team, broker, distributor, and bring them up to speed as to who you met with and what was discussed, and their level of interest and engagement with your products. If you're a one-person band, you don't have a broker, you don't have a distributor, you don't have an extended sales team, you're following up with that person yourself.
Awesome.
And absolutely email if you get it.
Okay, I have one final question to ask you. And you do this exceptionally well. I go in it at the show and LinkedIn, selfies, posts, storytelling in 30 seconds, because that's one thing you are brilliant at. Okay, brilliant. I have to say that. Okay.
Well, thanks.
What would you recommend? Should there be a minimal LinkedIn engagement? Like, what would you suggest? Or do you have a suggestion which people can do to really the personal brand or their branding? Anything you want to talk about, share on that one.
Yeah. So first off, I would say, look at LinkedIn as a social channel, but it's a business channel. You're engaging the trade. So there's two sides to every CPG brand's business. It's engaging the consumers, and there's lots of options for them to do that through, Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and Twitter and mass media. But if you really want to engage the trade, the people who are going to effectively help you scale your business by getting you listings at retail, LinkedIn's a great avenue. So first bit of advice is absolutely participate. Make sure your profile is up to date. Make sure you actually have a corporate page. The real estate is free, so grab the real estate. The other thing too is you do have to publish, but you're not publishing, I would say, at the same frequency as you are with consumers. And again, the nature of your content is going to be slightly different because you're talking to the trade. So again, having that deep understanding of what their needs are, right? What problem are you solving for them? I would absolutely say you can repurpose your content to some degree that you're sharing with consumers, but always pass it through a trade lens. Again, you're not going to use a TikTok on LinkedIn if you're talking to consumers, but you can tell the trade, hey, look, this is my activity level. This is what I'm doing to drive awareness. And if you have a listing with a particular retailer, you can actually, in your social content to consumers, not just drive awareness, but drive consideration and potentially traffic to that particular retailer's bricks and mortar store or their website by calling them out by name. Hey, we've got this product and it's available at this particular retailer. Go check them out. We've got a demo coming up. We're doing sampling, what have you. Make the retailer your partner, and then show the retailer how you're both driving awareness of your brand, but also driving awareness and consideration and traffic to that particular retail partner's destinations, bricks and mortar stores, as well as their e-commerce locations if you're listed on their e-commerce sites.
Rob, this has been very insightful. Thank you. And let's go CHFA, the Canadian Health Food Association, coming up in 2 weeks. I'm going to plug it. If you haven't signed up. Because I tell you, if you're in this business and you're passionate, that's the place to be. There's no doubt. Hey, Rob,
Absolutely.
absolutely the place to
100%
be. It's
fabulous
awesome. You have
show.
a great time. The food's outstanding. The people are outstanding. And you'll see me and Rob there, and you can come say, okay, everybody, short and sweet. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you.